I don't know anymore. I really don't. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what the identity of this team is. I don't know what bright spots there are. Um, I don't. I really do not know. Um, we all know what happened today. I mean, it's either we were at the game or we watched the game on TV. We know how this thing went. It was typical Falcons fashion. And you know what? Yes, it was the same old Falcons. I said it myself. I'm kind of honestly, it's not like, we're even saying, oh, same old Falcons, because we know it. We expect it. We know it's going to happen at some point. This, I think, could very well be one of the most pivotal games in Arthur Smith's tenure. It could very well end up being that. It is a pivotal game. This was a game that should have been won. Knew the Vikings were going to win. Well, man, I guess you got that game right. This was a pivotal game in Arthur Smith, and really this entire team. This was a game we should have won. This was a game that, yeah, I know the season's not over. Season's definitely not over for you. I mean, even if it is, I mean, you guys got a great future. Shout out to Steven Rose. You know, what's up, Jerry? Fuck your Saints, even though they are first. Still fuck them. Damn, you bet on the Cowboys and Dolphins. Damn. You should have known the Cowboys weren't winning a game like that, even though they had it right there. They were right there with them. But man, I really don't know what to say for all that I could say. I could come on here and put on an absolute show. And maybe I would have. I kind of did it on Wolves. And I might. I don't know where this stream is going to go. I really don't. Because to be honest, tonight, I don't have any answers. That could change tomorrow. That could change later this week. That could change next Sunday. I don't really have answers, and I don't know what we're doing. I really don't. This should have been a win today. It should have. Why we didn't win? Well, it's because the entire team, they didn't click. Yeah, and enjoy your Aints being first place, and I really hope you enjoy it. Like, you might stay there. When the final result might be that the Saints win the NFC South, but I'm telling you, it won't get you far. Probably won't get us that far either. But man, you better enjoy it for now because we still got to play each other twice. But man, honestly, we don't really even need to be talking about that. I mean, the point that, we're having to rely on a trash ass division, okay, we can make the playoffs is kind of, for the longest time, I didn't really see an issue with it. But today it's, yeah. I sure as hell wish the Braves could have won the World Series to ease some of this pain, but they fucking didn't. They choked. Also, yes, is Atlanta sports cursed? Sure, but I think we know that. We know that the sports gods hate, particularly the Falcons, for a variety of reasons. I think. But that's for another time. Honestly, man, I just really feel like this is a game that all I can really say is this should have been a win. It should have been a win, but we didn't win it because the team didn't come together. The offense for the longest time was stagnant. They turned the ball over in the second half. I mean, after Jonnu got the touchdown, it's like the offense was complacent there. And they started, I mean, Bijan Robinson, granted, he's a rookie, but this is not just, this isn't the first time it's happened to Bijan. It happened week 1 and said there was somebody there to actually recover the fumble. And if Carolina were to have recovered that week 1, it could have been a big turning point. But with that being said, he's a rookie. You can't really, pit a lot. I mean, to be fair, has it at times, kind of been disappointing, to see. I'll say this is why I say I think the Falcons, they don't have an identity at this point. We're supposed to be able to run the football, yet we fail to do so when it matters most. We're not winning games. Last year, we won games because our running game was going to wear you down, and you knew it. You knew we were going to wear you down. This year with the offense, it's really, I mean, I think we all know he's trying to, Arthur Smith, and we'll talk a lot about Arthur Smith in a second. Arthur Smith is trying to outthink himself when it's pretty damn basic. Now, granted, I, for one, will say I am a fan myself of throwing in some wrenches, spicing some things up. I'm a fan of that. Little trickery here and there. But I ask a couple things. If you're going to do the trickery, do it with your best players. Now, I think where it really is the Falcons' red zone offense is absolutely miserable to watch. It is. It's miserable to watch. And it has been all of Arthur Smith's tenure. It's been miserable to watch when the Falcons get into opposing teams' territory. It is. So, when you have, and granted Drake wasn't playing today, but you have a Kyle Pitts, you have a Bijan Robinson. Those are supposed to be guys that are difference makers in the red zone, that you're supposed to get involved in the red zone, and we're failing to do it. We're failing to do it. And granted, 1 yard line, yeah, that's when you bring Tyler Algier in and you hope he can punch it in. But when you're like, let's say 8, 9 yard line, 7 yard line, that is a great opportunity to get a Bijan Robinson or a Kyle Pitts, Drake London, because Drake, when he's playing, he's a victim of the same thing. Get those guys involved. Arthur Smith, I don't know what, honestly, his thinking is. I can understand the whole, not being about, we don't care about fantasy football, we care about winning, but you're not doing things to win, is the thing. This is not a winning brand of football, a consistent winning brand of football that you're playing. It's not. You're coming out and granted, it worked today with the empty base because you threw a lot of the screens in. Now, let me ask you I'm going to ask an honest question. Granted, Minnesota likes to blitz a lot. And I'll talk about Heineke in a second and where I think the quarterback situation is going to go from here on out. I will say this. I really honestly feel like, those screens today, yes, they work, but why weren't we doing it when Ritter was in? Short, simple screens that can get those yards, because when really thinking about it, that is kind of an extension of your running game. You get a Bijan, a Tyler Algier, a CP, on those screens and you let them do their work with the blockers blocking for them. That touchdown for Jonnu, I got to give it to him. Perfectly executed. Blockers downfield. Scheming looked great. You let Jonnu take his speed to the house. But with that being said, yeah, man, we let this one slip away because we did not come together to play as a team. The defense can only hold up so much. When you're putting your defense back out on the field after just three and out, you can only sustain about one or two respectable quality drives in the entire first half. That's going to wear your defense down. So by the point it gets, now granted, give credit to Josh Dobbs. He came out, he played with like he had nothing to lose. We're going to get into the embarrassing elements of it. Well, here's one of them right now. He beat us throwing the ball to guys that he didn't even know. The only thing he knew about those guys was what number they were and the name on the back of the jersey. They were literally introducing themselves to each other in the middle of the game on the sideline. That's the embarrassing part about it. Now, you could very easily blame the defense. Yes, they let us down. But they've been saving our asses for up until last week. One of the things I really fear, and it might be time we face, is has Arthur Smith lost this locker room? 2 straight games, both could have been wins. Has he lost this locker room? We don't want to have this conversation, but damn it, we have to have it. We also have to look at Arthur Smith overall. 3 years as head coach. And it still feels like he's making the same mistakes that a first-year head coach would make. You have all this talent on the team, and the plays that you run are not working. Now, granted, is Arthur Smith a fucking genius? He's far from it. I think a lot of us are far from fucking geniuses. Not every single coach is going to be an Andy Reid. Heck, not every single successful offensive coach with an offense. That see offensive head coaches, they're not Andy Reid. They're not. Andy Reid is one of a kind, but you're supposed to be an offensive coach. Now, you have a certain style and a certain brand you like to play with, and I understand that. That's why we drafted Bijan. But your running game is going to wear down defenses in the second half. At least that's what a guy like Tyler Algier, he really is. He's going to wear down defenses in the second half and in the fourth quarter in particular. That's why I said earlier in this game, I felt like we should have really came out early and we should have made it a mission to get a Bijan Robinson involved early, a Kyle Pitts involved early. That's what we should have done. And to an extent, we kind of did, and it wasn't really working. But who's the one drawing up the plays? Who's the one coming up with the assignments? That's Arthur Smith and Dave Ragone. Granted, is execution a big part of it? Definitely. Now, Taylor Heineke, what I saw from Heineke today, I'm not all that too shocked about. There were some ugly balls he threw. He could have really had 3 or 4 interceptions. You know, we were all giving Ritter hell about that, but no one's going to give Heineke hell about it. But that's the style of quarterback Heineke plays. He said it. He literally he plays whenever he plays with the spirit of Brett Favre. What did Brett Favre do? How did Brett Favre go out there and play? So I'm not all that too shocked to see that from him. With that being said, I do feel like Desmond Ridder is going to come back in next week and be the guy the rest of the year. Because even though, yes, it was looking like a few days ago we were going to roll with Heineke, something did have to happen. He had to come out, and first of all, he had to have a good game. He had to help us win, and he had to have a good game. Heineke had about a pretty average game, but he didn't make the plays when necessary at times. So when looking back on the game, throwing the interception, some more plays that definitely could have been turnovers. Now, granted, some of that is definitely on the coach. Another thing, too, and obviously, 22 seconds left. You're only down 3. Now, granted, long shot, sure. But you have one of the best kickers in football. Granted, does Koo have the strongest leg? No. He doesn't have a Justin Tucker or Harrison Butker leg. But you have, and I don't care if Drake was playing today or not. This is a next man up sport. You had a 6'6" tight end, highest drafted tight end ever, and you're not making it a mission to get him involved on that final drive, those final 22 seconds. Wasn't really a drive, but the final 22 seconds. You're not making it imperative. That to me is just, that's another thing I look at. Would it have worked? Maybe, maybe not. But you have to, Arthur Smith, if Arthur Smith really was a offensive mastermind, some claim he is, some still might think he is, wouldn't he be able to find a way to scheme Kyle Pitts? Listen, don't give me the BS about, obviously they were going to try to take him away. But look what they did versus Tampa a few weeks ago. They schemed Kyle Pitts open. They had him running a good route. It was a favorable matchup. He found him. You didn't even have to get it all in one play. You had 22 seconds left with 2 timeouts. You could have very well have done something. Pitts gets close to midfield, and then the rest of it, heck, you could have then do your dinking dunk from there. But that to me, obviously, just kind of harping, because obviously it was a long shot, but still, I'm kind of thought about that also. But overall, where did we lose this game? The team as a whole collapsed. Our identity, the pride we try to carry ourselves on, took a big hit. Big enough for us to lose this battle. And now we have the task of 6 days trying to go to Arizona. Kyler Murray will probably be back, and trying to get back to 500. I will say early thoughts about next week. I feel like we definitely can win the game. But even maybe say we should win the game. But we should have won this game. I don't think any game with the Falcons is a guarantee at all. Nothing is a guarantee. So, will we win? I would like to think maybe we could. The optimistic part of me, but also part of me that knows the history, understands trends of Arthur Smith and really the Falcons in general. The Falcons could very well lose this game. Will they? Honestly, I think the Falcons, if they come out next week, play with a purpose, then yes, you could find yourselves at 500 going into the bye, coming out, Big matchup with the Saints, determining who's first in the division. But right now, man, it's hard to honestly focus on anything. It's hard to even focus on Arizona because this is just one of those losses. You don't have words for it, but as Augusta Yater said, how do you let this one slip away? How do you let a game like this slip away where you had a third stringer come in and Joshua Dobbs? Kirk Cousins gets hurt. Jaron Hall goes out with a concussion. So you have Joshua Dobbs, who just literally got there 5 days ago. I mean, I'm looking at this right now. I mean, what? I don't understand this. Oh, was that who was that? Brandon Powell who caught that? Oh, you gotta be. I think that was Brandon Powell who caught the final touchdown, a former Falcon. They're just so damn fitting. But it's that's just one of those things where it's fitting it happened to us. Even though we don't understand why it keeps happening to us, it's fitting it happened to us. But now, even though we don't want to talk about anything past this, we have to really honestly, I think, start to really look at it. I will say this. I think as far as the quarterback situation goes, I think Ritter will probably be the guy the rest of the year. Heineke, even though Heineke basically played the same way as Ritter. So if that is the case, if I'm going to get Ritter production from Heineke production from Ritter, I would at least want to roll with Ritter and see what maybe the young guy who I'm paying less for can maybe give me, and let's see what he can turn into. Because right now, honestly, Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ritter, they look very familiar. They look like two very familiar quarterbacks when comparing each other. So, when putting it in that sense, yes, I would rather see, or I'm not even going to say rather see. I just think, I kind of would rather see Ritter start because he's the younger guy, but one way or another, it's going to be the similar result. But honestly, I do think they're going back to Ritter. But the bigger conversation that we could be looking at here, let's see. It is November 5th. We are currently 7 weeks from Christmas. We're 9 weeks until the end of the season. A lot can happen until then. I understand that. Week 18 versus New Orleans. Who knows? Maybe we're playing for the NFC South then. But if we do not win this division and make the playoffs, there is going to be on Monday, January 8th, when everyone wakes up, when Mr. Blank wakes up, when Terry Fontenot wakes up, Rich McKay wakes up. Heck, we don't make the playoffs or season ends Sunday, January 7th, then we might have to have some conversations right then and there in New Orleans. We get back from New Orleans, we wake up Monday, January 8th, and we are not NFC South champions. We do not have a playoff game on the docket the upcoming weekend, then we do not need to fire Fontenot. We do not. He has done everything he can to construct a team that you can get guys in that to bring guys in here, get guys to buy into a culture that, basically for the longest time, the Falcons, they were not viewed as, yeah, I know the Saints are in first place at least for now, but shit, they are. A Falcons culture that was pretty, you didn't know what it was all about. You knew what they were trying to build, but you didn't know how it was going to turn out. You got a Calais Campbell and a Jesse Bates to buy into that. So with that being said, Fontenot does not need to be let go. We don't even need to think about that. Because he's done everything to put a successful team together. He has. Granted, you can say, oh, he could have gone out, got a better quarterback, but at the end of the day, Arthur Blank would also have to take an L on that because even though maybe he was sold on Desmond Ridder, he gave his call. So, yes, I would say Fontenot, we don't need to worry about right now. But Arthur Smith, if we do not wake up Monday, January 8th as NFC South champions, Monday, January 8th, 2024, and we are not NFC South champions or have a playoff game on deck the upcoming weekend, honestly, I would not be one bit mad if Terry Fontenot, Rich McKay, and Arthur Blank called Arthur Smith into the big office in Flowery Branch or the Benz or wherever you want to do it. And they had his bags there, neatly all done with, neatly packed. Told him what the situation was, questioned him one final time. They question him. They're gonna, though they've already got his bags packed, they're gonna question him. But we're not buying the political coded bullshit. Tell us straight up. Where did it go wrong? And if you don't like one thing this motherfucker tells you in that meeting, yeah, give him the fucking boot. I don't like saying that. I don't. Because I want to believe Arthur Smith can end up being a quality coach for us. I still do. But at the end of the day, when you have proven in your third year as head coach, your third year is the year that tells it all, that there has not been really any improvement made. There hasn't. That you're still struggling with finishing off teams, letting teams hang around, blowing football games, which is one of the things we were trying to change. Granted, you're going to always have a game slip away here and there that you let in or you should have won or whatever. But it's like it happens multiple times a season. So, that being said, I would not be one bit opposed. And then where will we go from there? I don't know. I think even though, yes, the defense has let us down the past 2 weeks, Ryan Nielsen's still my guy. He's still my guy. His defense needs to be set up in better situations by the offense and how the game is going. A defense is going to wear down if they just keep going out. Defense can't win you games every week. They can't. Especially in 2023. You have to have a reliable offense. So, I would definitely, try to keep Nielsen and lock him down long term. Would I make him head coach? I don't know. Would he be worth an interview? Maybe if we were to fire Arthur Smith. There are some names I like out there. Ben Johnson in Detroit is one of the main ones that come to mind. But hey, at the end of the day, We're not going to fire Arthur Smith during the middle of the season. I am aware of that. But ultimately, if we're not NFC South champions at the end of the year, I would not be one bit opposed to him getting the boot. I would maybe even say maybe he should get the boot. But with that also being said, Arthur Blank is a very patient owner. Arthur Blank's kindness is his weakness. It was his weakness with Dan Quinn. And I feel it's going to be his weakness with Arthur Smith. As Arthur Blank has gotten into his old age, his kindness has really turned into his weakness. And his weakness is holding on to guys longer than they should. So, with that being said, if we're talking about who's going to be head coach next year, could it be Arthur Smith? Sure. Do I think it's entirely, out of question? Maybe we fire him at the end of the season? No, because Arthur Blank also said he expects playoffs. He expects growth. But with that being said, we still have what? We're 4-5. We still have 8 games to go. We have 8 games to go. And I'll be here for all 8 games. We still got the Saints twice. We got the Jets. Oh, that's going to be a tough game to win. We still got Tampa Bay and Carolina. We got Arizona next week. We got Chicago New Year's Eve. That's going to be what? Negative 30-degree temperatures. We got the Colts coming in here. It's a manageable schedule. I'd probably say really the only game, we ain't going to win that one. It will probably be the Jets game. Other than that, I think every game we could win, but we ain't going to win, let's face it. But I'll say this. Next week is going to tell the state of this locker room. What's up, Noah? Next week is going to tell the state of how this locker room is looking. It's going to tell us, is this locker room. So Augusta Gator says we still win. It could be possible. I'm not saying we're out of it for the South yet because we're only 1 game back. But at the end of the day, the team we saw today, we don't need to be having the conversation about playoffs. We don't. If we can't even beat a guy. Yeah, we lose to Arizona. The only good thing would be we got a bye week coming up. Then we got you guys. I'll say this: if we're 4-7 after the Saints game in Atlanta, yeah, season's over. I mean, shit, this is demoralizing right now. I mean, losing. I mean, we've seen it before, but it's like, when can this shit stop? I wasn't going to say anything bad about Josh Dobbs. When the hell did I say that? I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't know when I was going to. Oh, that would be pretty damn fitting, wouldn't it? We win the South at 8-9. That'd be pretty damn fitting. Shit, maybe it could happen. It very well could happen. I'm not saying it won't. It could happen. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying there. I wasn't going to say any. I said what I was going to say, we lost to a guy who hadn't even been there 4 days or something like that. I don't know, man. I don't. We lost to a third stringer. That's Minnesota's third quarterback. He didn't even start the game. Came off the bench. What? 3 touchdowns. He threw 3 touchdowns. He's got no eyebrows. He's got no hair. He's got that. He's got that fucking condition Jada Smith has, I think, or something like it. He's got like that condition, or I don't know if it's like some type of cancer, but I don't think it would be cancer because if that's the case, I don't. I wasn't even thinking about his fucking eyebrows. Same condition as Shazier. Oh, well, man. I guess him and Shazier are brothers or something. Oh, disease. Oh, ball disease. God damn, Gator. It must be tough as hell. You're not only a Falcons fan, but you're a Florida fan as well, man. It's got to be fucking tough. But yeah, man, I don't know what we're doing. I really don't. I don't know where we go. I mean, I guess if you want me to look forward, which I guess is the only damn thing we can do, is maybe, you go to Arizona, Kyler Murray returning. Let's see, screen out to Sunday Night Football just started. Yeah, see, I don't get that. I mean, that's just... Wasn't he supposed to be on break or something? Yeah. We don't fuck with Slut over here. But with that being said, I really don't know what the hell else to say. The link is there. Anyone wants to come in, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, no, we ain't won in Arizona in a minute. I know we didn't win the last time we went there. I can swear we haven't won in Arizona in a minute. When was the last time we won in Arizona? Let me look it up. We lost in Arizona, Matt Ryan's rookie season in the playoffs. We lost there. Yeah, we don't do good in Arizona, man. We really don't. I'm sure we've never won in Arizona. Yeah, I'm thinking that I can't remember the last time we won a game in Arizona. Maybe that changes next week, but shit, at this rate, I don't know. I mean, we're going to let them stay in it. And then that team fights hard, period. Now, Kyler Murray coming back. Does he look rusty? Sure, he probably will. But, I mean, if there's any team to bring Kyler Murray back against and him to have a good game against, I guess it would be us. But, yeah, I don't think we've ever won in Arizona, actually. I really don't. We lost there in 2019. We lost there Matt Ryan's rookie season in the playoffs. We lost there one other time. We have not had good history in Arizona. So that's not going to be the easiest game. I mean, I think even with a win, it wouldn't be an easy game because Arizona has played every game. I mean, they got blown out today by Cleveland. That might honestly be the only time all season that really the Arizona Cardinals have actually, looked like what we expected them to. They're losing, but they're fighting. And I mean, a team like that, they're going to give you a run for your money. So, and judging by what the Falcons have looked like and their tendencies, man, I don't know. What's up?
What's up, dude?
Well, I guess, I don't know. What is there else to talk about?
I don't know what happened to y'all's defense, dude. I thought your defense was supposed to be
They said, we're done fucking bailing you out and fuck you to the offense. That's what they did.
What was the Falcons' biggest lead in that game, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I mean, we had an 8-point lead in the 11th quarter. It's not like, we had a catastrophic. Well, we had a catastrophic collapse. It's not like we blew a big lead or anything, but I'll put it this way. When we had opportunities to put the game away, and this was honestly something I felt like you had to improve on. When you have an opportunity to put the game away, we failed to do it. And we let them hang around and hang around and hang around. Like, we got the ball. I want to say Jonnu scores the touchdown. We get the ball back. At that point, you're supposed to put them away. But I think we had a turnover that drive. I think that might have been the drive Bijan fumbled or something. So then after that, it was the drive Bijan fumbled. So then after that, Minnesota gets the ball back. They're already in opposing territory. I don't know why the hell we didn't put a quarterback spy on Josh Dobbs, but I mean, at the end of the day, our linebackers couldn't tackle. So, yeah, he carved us up really on the ground is where they did most of their damage. I think we only had 60 or 70 rushing yards today, and they had 150. Most of it was from Josh Dobbs, but still.
So you guys actually got the ball back when you were up 21-13?
Yes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a position in the game where you
have to put them away.
Nah, I agree. I didn't really keep up with much of the play-by-play because I was at the game. I was at my game. But I was tracking the score throughout. You guys were up 11-3 or whatever, which I thought was kind of weird. I'm not sure.
We got a safety, Calais. Got a safety.
Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, it was a fucking shit show. Bullshit.
I mean, that was something that I could see happening from a mile away. I could have seen Minnesota winning that game.
Well, I mean, of course, but still, it's fucking bullshit. Bullshit at its finest. Falcons edition.
Well, I mean, listen, I know you're discouraged and everything, but you still got everything out in front of you. I mean, you play us twice. Tampa Bay lost as well. So, I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. It's you got to move on and just stay alive in your division. But
I mean, to be fair, yeah, I mean, but I'll say this: if we don't beat you guys coming out let's say, okay, theoretically we do lose in Arizona Coming out the bye, we're fighting for a season versus you guys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I agree. Although I think you better beat Arizona though. I think if you lose to Arizona, that's going to be
it's fucking gonna be pretty damn rough. Yeah. I mean, they're the only team in the division who won today. But, I mean, I saw Chicago was keeping that thing close all game.
Yeah, that was a very ugly game to be at. I'm not going to get deep into details.
I would take an ugly win and being first over, some bullshit, but
we won the turnover ratio 5-0 today.
I heard something like the Chicago turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah, we only won by 7. That's pretty sad.
I can't wait to see how these fucking games turn out. This game turns out in a few weeks between us.
I think it's gonna be nitty gritty. I think it's gonna be one of the better games of the season. Personally,
I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna be. It could definitely be that. It's gonna definitely be both teams are gonna be trying to give it to each other.
Oh, absolutely,
That's what it's gonna look like.
I mean, it's Falcons Saints. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Falcons Saints. A lot.
You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
I still think it's a game that should be really, especially if we both win next week, and even if we don't, even if you guys win and we lose and we're both going in at 5-5, I think that's definitely a game that should be looked at as putting in whether it be a 325 window or whatever, the main window at 12 o'clock. Yeah, it's just pathetic how these NFL schedule makers are.
I'll be there. So.
Yeah, I know. It's pathetic how these NFL schedule makers are
just letting purple people there today. I don't know if Augusta Gator's still in here, but I mean, he'll fucking tell you that's probably fucking warming us up for the next time we're in that stadium and we're having to deal with all you motherfuckers.
Yeah, we travel as well as anybody over there, so
I'm shocked how Minnesota traveled, to be honest. I didn't think they traveled like that.
Yeah,
ATL Will had one of his friends there with him. He was from Minnesota.
Was he a Viking fan?
ATL Will, he had his girl with him and one of his friends, he's a Vikings fan.
Okay.
Flew down from Minnesota.
That makes sense.
I heard a lot of people flew down from Minnesota. I didn't know they traveled like that.
Yeah, they got some passionate people in Minnesota for the Vikings. I remember the wild card game I was at. They traveled pretty well for that game.
We ain't beaten y'all in the Benz since the first year it opened. So
yeah, since I was a teenager. That's crazy.
I was what?
13 or 12 or something?
Yeah, I was in middle school at that time.
Yeah. It's crazy, yeah.
Y'all in the Benz. So I think we gotta win the game, not just because of that. We're probably gonna be fighting for our season. I mean, if we win versus Arizona, then okay. But I mean, the Saints game is always a big game to win, regardless.
Well, you can't look at it in relation to if we beat Arizona, so be it. But we got to beat y'all. I mean, you guys just have to beat us just to maintain ground.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just if not the division, then the wild card. Because.
Well, I mean, we got to beat y'all because y'all are the Saints.
Yeah, but you don't want to go into that game 4-6. You
No,
want to go into that game with,
you
if
want to
you
go in
did
there.
lose, it's not the end of the, if you were to lose, it's not the end of the world. You can make it up if you were to just win a few in a row. If you lose to Arizona, you might be in a position to where, yeah, we got to beat the Saints or else it's a
That's
wrap.
why I say it's these next 2 games are very pivotal. Because then after that, we go to New York versus the Jets. We ain't winning that fucking game.
I don't think the Jets are all that. I
You
don't
can forget
understand why you're
that.
so
No,
afraid
that
of the
fucking
Jets.
defense will terrorize us.
I think that'll be a
Let it be
low
bad
scoring
weather in
game.
New York.
I think that would be a low scoring game. I wouldn't be so scared of the Jets. I don't know why you're like you say that you feel like you can beat anybody on the schedule besides the Jets. I disagree. I feel like you can beat the Jets. I don't think the Jets are that good. They fight hard, yeah. They play hard, but that doesn't mean that they're good. I mean, y'all could probably win a low scoring game if y'all's defense shows up.
They got a good defense, though, is the thing. And
I know, but if y'all play good defense, I mean, it could be a low scoring game.
we though, I mean, I don't know what the state of this defense is going to be. I mean, obviously, listen, this was supposed to be a bounce back week for the defense, and it ended up just being them, selling the game. But I truly, honestly think it's something deeper than that. I think it could be turning into a locker room issue.
Well, I know one thing. If the Saints sweep you guys this year again, then yeah, Arthur Smith, no matter what happens,
He's gone.
that is without a doubt. Like if you get swept by fucking Dennis Allen for the second straight year, that has got to be the most like embarrassing thing.
And that would not only be that would be losing 5 straight
to the Saints. Yeah,
that can't be done. No.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm obviously
the only way to redeem yourself from that is if you can win a fucking Super Bowl. And we know at this point, that's not even a conversation. You need to put the Falcons in.
No, none of us are in
That's
that.
Not a conversation you need to put any team in this division in. It's not.
None of us are in that conversation. Hell no.
That to me is just, I don't know, man. I can't wrap my head around I think Ritter's probably the starter next week.
I think anybody who won the NFC South would need something catastrophically like miraculous to happen in order for them to make a run.
The winner of the NFC South will likely be the 4th seed, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Seattle is able to get that 5th seed. Geno Smith ain't looking so high.
But that's week 9, dude. Like that's not. I'm not looking at that, dude. Like I'm not looking at that shit.
Seattle's very up and down. Seattle can come in, and if they get firing, yeah, they can be a dangerous team. But man, I'm telling you, there may be something like that. But I mean, I don't think either of us will beat the Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, good news is that none of that matters right now. All that matters is just trying to get a win.
How do you feel about Minnesota? I mean, I think
we got a shot. I do.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna win. I don't know if
go
we
in there, and that should be an interesting game to see.
It's gonna be a good game. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. Minnesota and the Saints are always fucking close, dude. Like that game is going to come down to the nitty-gritty once again. I do think the Saints have a shot. I'm not gonna say they don't. If I had to pick somebody, I'd probably pick Minnesota. I did say earlier in the week that I felt like the Saints would beat the Colts and theirs, and then lose the lose to the Vikings, and I mean that doesn't mean that these last 2 wins to me doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't convince me one bit. If we beat the Vikings, I don't think that's going to convince me either. I mean,
yeah. I mean, what's y'all's division record at this point?
1-1.
Let's see. So we're 2-0. So y'all still have us twice, Carolina and Tampa Bay.
Correct.
Tampa Bay will probably be nothing by. Don't y'all have them at the end of the year?
Yep.
Carolina week 4. Now, Carolina could be a spoiler team, is the way I see it.
Well, yeah, Carolina. I think Carolina's a little too deep in a hole to.
They're a spoiler team. I mean, if you look at it, depending on how they develop Bryce Young, they might. I mean, I don't know, but this year, yeah, they're pretty fucked. They're not.
Yeah, you're too deep in a hole. You start 0-6. I mean, I don't. There's not much you're really gonna.
They thought they were gonna. They thought, oh, win 3 straight. They're back in the. Hey, bitch, you're not winning 3 straight.
I mean, shit. Technically, if they did win 3 straight, they probably would be back in it. But like you said, I don't see that happening. I don't think that's happening.
Let's see. What are your thoughts on firing Alexa Grasso's husband? Do you know who the hell Alexa Grasso is?
I've heard her name thrown around. I'm not exactly too sure what's going on. Let me.
All right. Well, if we miss the playoffs again, do you think he should go? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Yeah, I do. I think definitely consider it. Don't let it be 3 straight 7-10.
Oh, Arthur Smith?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously. If y'all miss the playoffs, absolutely.
So.
Oh, shit. Oh,
What?
okay. I didn't realize that the Alexa Grasso's husband. Oh, okay. Scratch everything that you asked me. Oh my god! I thought you were asking me if I knew who Alexa Grasso was. That you're asking about, like, if I knew who the fuck Alexa Grasso's husband was.
Anyways, I don't.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I don't know. I really don't know what else there is to say, man. I mean, Buffalo Cincinnati's looking like a good game. You got Monday night tomorrow, Carolina and Chicago Thursday. Next, I mean, can you believe this is literally the midway point?
Yeah, dude, most of the season has surpassed this. It's fucking crazy, man. It's went by so fast.
Now heading into after Thanksgiving, that's really the home stretch. So. Yeah, man, I don't really know what else there is to really say. I guess I'll go ahead. I mean, if you want to stay behind, you can, but I'll go ahead and end this live now. Because I think
yeah, for sure. I just wanted to pop on for a few minutes. It wasn't going to be long. Like you, I'm watching that since